Accuracy matters. Turn to First Alert Hometown Weather.
Now from the Robin Reed Weather Center, here's your First Alert Hometown Weather forecast.
Downpours, a couple of thunderstorms now beginning to approach our far western counties, and we're going to be timing it out from this point going right through the afternoon, potentially into the early evening. Damaging winds look to be the biggest concern. Could see some pockets of hail. Regardless, it's important here to be weather aware if you're venturing out, perhaps grabbing an early dinner, running some errands, to have multiple ways to receive those alerts. Very important there. You can have that 7 Weather app handy to receive those alerts, and of course check out what we too are seeing. At least right now, most of the Roanoke Valley south side on the dry side. Thunderstorms beginning to intensify throughout the West Virginia mountains, stretching south just west of Interstate 77. Some locally heavy rain coming down toward Marion and Bluefield currently. Not a lot of lightning and thunder here, but like I said, conditions out to the east where we've warmed things up this afternoon are going to be more conducive for some intensification. Lewisburg points west along I-64. A few lightning strikes coming in, perhaps some gusty winds, but definitely looking at some locally heavy rain. All these thunderstorms forming out ahead of a potent cold front. And this was the same cold front that we saw all the severe weather yesterday back throughout Illinois and Indiana, with dozens of reports of damaging winds and even over a dozen reports of tornadoes. Tornado threat today is going to be much lower, not a zero threat, but not what we saw yesterday for our neighbors to the west. So multiple clusters of thunderstorms beginning to develop between now and about that 6 o'clock time frame. You can see one zone lifting out east as we go toward the 3 o'clock hour, and perhaps a few additional storms developing right back behind that. Then the front sweeps through, and you'll notice it because the humidity begins to fall, perhaps a little bit more comfortable as we wake up Friday morning and before we start to see those temperatures really take off later on this weekend. So heavy rainfall, damaging winds, elevated concerns this afternoon. Can't rule out some hail, and again, a low tornado threat. You can see we're in a level 2 out of 5. Higher probabilities for severe weather a little bit further off toward the east. As we venture our way into tomorrow, not as humid out there. Look at that, some 70s toward Tazewell. Good looking day setting up there. Mid 80s toward Pulaski. Over the south side, temperatures climbing up into the upper 80s toward Danville and South Boston. And northbound toward the Allegheny Highlands, low to mid 80s, pretty common there from again, Covington toward Warm Springs. But the heat danger is going to kick in here as we work our way through time. Notice the different tiers here. Once you get toward that major and extreme tier, that's something to be more concerned about. And we start to see that increasing as we work our way from Sunday into Monday, and especially as we go into Tuesday and also into Wednesday. So something to be mindful of as we work our way down the road. Here's your First Alert 7-day forecast. Multiple First Alert weather days to highlight the core of that intense heat.